Welcome to the FCICA product webinar series. We are pleased to have Bill Treiber of Artistic Finishes with us today. Bill, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lizzie, and welcome all those individuals that took time out of their busy schedules to hopefully learn a little bit more about artistic finishes. Today's webinar will cover a number of different topics, hopefully some new products that we look at as being in the industry of accessories quite important to us. So as far as today's agenda, we're going to start by talking about Builder Series treads. I have white primed items that are worthy of noting, particularly those individuals that are working with large builders or builders in general. We find that we have a market there for our products. EnduraCore, as most of you would know, is our answer to the multi-flooring industry with regards to SPCs, WPCs, rigid vinyl cores, LVPs, LVTs, what have you. And we have added some different profiles, so we're looking to show you those. And then last, but certainly not least, is our engineered stair nosings. First, let's talk about the Builder Series treads. There's a number of things in our Builder Series treads that make that category of tread unique. We just recently added this to our website for our customers' use. A Builder Series tread to us is a full thickness tread of 1 1/16", pretty much the standard in the industry for a tread, what you'd find at like a big box or what have you. The difference between our Builder Series treads and our treads that we make is that you have a number of staves being added typically to the Builder Series tread. A stave being an individual board being glued to another board, creating the width of a tread. Traditionally and most common, 11.5 inches in width. These Builder Series treads will be comprised more of up to 7 staves. They will be available in a variety of different finishes as well as unfinished. They're available in a full radius round bullnose only, whereas with our treads we offer different styles, designs, radiuses on the edges, primarily for square-edged bullnosings. They are completed rather quickly, usually in about 13 to 15 days. Currently, the species available, red oak, white oak, maple, hickory, and they are only available in a 48-inch length. So if you have a Builder Series tread that you want to incorporate into a custom tread, whereby length or something else is different, you would have to convert the entire order over to a custom ordered tread. We'll talk a little bit more about those as we go forward. Again, the Builder Series tread, ideal for mixing of Builder Series treads within a custom tread. That's not recommended, as I just mentioned. So if you're going to have treads that are left-hand returns or right-hand returns or pie-shaped or oversized, we're going to recommend that you do that in an entire custom series of treads. Okay? Darker stained floors, they're great for those. I did, and you will see at surfaces, we're going to be displaying a Builder Series tread. We do focus on trying to keep the colors within the different indigenous species very close so that it diminishes the look of the different staves within a tread. But for the most part, they will be a little busier tread than what you would find with our custom treads, where there we're looking at 2 to 3 staves maximum. Certainly, you're going to have wider board width within those treads, and so that's primarily what we're looking to accomplish there. Here you can see the full thickness sizes, 1 1/16 throughout, and also the bull nose. Our standard tread is we refer to as a tread with no returns, straight cut ends. As far as a custom quote, we offer a number of different things. We require that you have the details for the manufacturer, the line, the wood species, the color, all listed, along with the thickness and any special requests that you might get. Obviously, when filling out one of the custom forms, we're going to need, even though it says standard measurement, we want you to fill out those different portions of the form. Along with universal, you're going to have anything that requires a return on it, specifying the length of the return, the width of the return, and again there we do have our standard measurements that we ask for in there be filled out as well. Starter steps. We're getting more and more starter steps of unique sizes. We do these with or without the framing. So you can order just the tread portion, or you can get the base with it in a full kit. Getting the full kit, we do provide both the cove, which goes up underneath the tread portion, and the shoe, which is down on the floor. That's shown here briefly in those profiles that are laid out around the edge of the starter step. Starter steps can also be ordered with a white base. If you're carrying up white painted or white primed and you have a custom color you're going to paint the riser portion on, it will be included in there as well. The single-ended left and rights are critical. Many times there'll be field cuts to the tread, and in all cases, all of your starter step treads are, I think, without exception, full thickness throughout. You're not going to get a oversized bull nose that's going to be of a different thickness than the main portion of the tread. Here you can see the layouts for pie-shaped treads. The key here is to know what's the outside and inside corners. We get a lot of these treads with 5 sides. We get some with 3 sides, but we still want to know what's being butted up next to the wall and or the skirt board so that we can confirm for bullnosing edges. Here again, we're asking for the measurements per the side, be individually. And many times with pie-shaped treads, we will and I will request additional renderings and or drawings and or templates. We get templates in a number of different sizes, shapes, and materials. Whatever you think is accurate. One of the most obvious things, but often forgotten, is to designate the top from the bottom so that we're not making it upside down. This form can all be found on Artistic Finishes account, going into technical info and going down into forms. You will find over in the custom quotes section this form available. White primed products. Artistic has always had some white primed products. Wall base, shoe, and quarter round are the most popular ones. We do have a couple choices on the wall base itself, and our standard Princeton 003 is available. I would say 95% of the wall base we send out is in our basic 003. The wall base number 211 is an oversized Princeton wall base. Also very, very desirable for where you're looking to do a little bit of an upscale. Here you can see those profiles and their numbers respectively. Here again, white primed risers, very popular, becoming increasingly popular, can be used quite extensively throughout the projects that you're quoting. EnduraCore. WPC profiles, we list them online as a WPC wood veneered profile. We are still using acacia, European oak, and red oak, and maple as the species available for EnduraCore. From that, we have covered, I think now, well over 200 different manufacturers. Custom blended? No. We refer to, with EnduraCore, a coordinated or complementary finish. The reason being is that when you get into a wood veneer this thin on a waterproof cord product, it does not enable us to really do the wire brushing that you would see in the textured floors, the hand scraping that we would get, and a number of other distressing techniques that we can do with a solid piece of wood. Now, in most of our floors where we do offer EnduraCore, we are also offering wood profiles. So if you have a discriminating customer that wants something to look more closely to the floor, we refer to a custom blend in our wood profiles as being the answer. Keep that in mind when ordering the EnduraCore profiles. Currently, they are more of a complementary or coordinating colors. What we've done is, since the beginning where we had just 5 profiles, we have since increased that to well over 20 profiles, and we're designating that into the segments of 2.5 to 5.5 millimeter profiles, adding most recently our overlapping stair nose, number 273, down in the right-hand corner there, located. Very critical profile being ordered quite often and become quite popular. And you'll also notice that we offer flush stair nosings in different styles in terms of the bull nosing. The 340 is available in a square-edged bull nose, and the 298 is available in a full radius round. More similar to the 273, which in our overlap series 273 is only available in a radius, full radius round bull nose. But track, no. We do not recommend the use of track for any of these. Most track systems required are basically only available for floors greater than 6 millimeters in thickness. Here's the 6 to 10 millimeter portion of our portfolio for EnduraCore profiles. You'll notice the track is available there, certainly an option. It is not usable with the 288 in the upper left-hand corner. That is a flush stair nose. That's not something you're going to be able to use the track with. And from our research and from what we're finding back from most of our customers, that even in this category, less than 50% of our customers are using a track system for any of those. Again, here with wall base, you certainly wouldn't use it, and with the adjustable 059 stair nose, you wouldn't use it either. And lastly, your thickest floors where you get the use and the carryover into the laminates, the more of the rigid vinyl core products that are getting thicker up into the 10 to 15 millimeter range, around almost over 10, half inch. Here you will see the use of more track, but to know that these products are available for you is a reassuring opportunity. So with that, we do send out with every box our installation recommendations. Our program is heavily married with the MS-245 adhesive. With our research that we did initially 3 to 5 years running prior to the time that we introduced our EnduraCore profiles, the MS-245 we have found is a superior adhesive that gives you a high green grab, a very quick setting, up to about 10 minutes of workable time. It bonds to plastic, steel, concrete, whether it's been sealed or not, any of the wood composites very versatile, and yet with its very high green grab, still gives you a little bit of elastomeric quality that enables the profiles themselves to move ever so little, so that when you've got a heavy object or a two-wheeling cart taking for example, a refrigerator up a set of steps, it allows for that to move that profile rather than break the profile and yet not let go and release. We send on the back side of our installations the actual location of where those adhesives should go. Of course, these products are available, the adhesive, through Artistic Finishes. Engineered stair nosings. We've introduced, and I'll shortly show a video on install, a square-edged 2mm radius stair nosing. This particular product will be shown also at Surfaces in 2020. Makes the toughest stair nosings options available. It's an oversized width. You'll notice there the wear layer is quite thick, running over 4mm, but it's 1.5 inches in total depth. So where you get to that top step, and there's a lot of installers struggle with that top step install for stair nosings, this gives you that opportunity to cover the sins that you have beneath it. Pretty much unprecedented in the rest of the industry as far as stair nosing profile dimensions. I think now, Lizzie, might be a good time to go to that. You're going to see here just briefly the use of what we refer to as shims for the different thickness. We have the 240 and a 9/16. We have the 241 showing the shims of 2mm in thickness being added to the same profile of the 240 in creating a 5/8 inch thick floor, and that gives you again a 5.5 inch wide system. Is great with a lot of the European oak floors that you, I'm sure, are experiencing an interest in out there in the industry, and that was one of the main focuses for development, which really has been many years in the developing stages prior to the time that we released that product. Little things like the directional flow of the plywood itself and the composition of the plywood and the adhesives were tested extensively to make sure that this product would be a staple for years to come in the industry, since we do feel that the style, the design, the species all are going to be around for a long time. The next slide pretty much covers, some of the options there with it as far as the, when you're looking at Artistic Finishes, recognize that we can do custom work in a lot of different areas. I have a number of customers that cannot get profiles made custom. We can do that in a number of different species. I think we currently deal with around 70 wood species. Know that our EnduraCore products will only continue to get better. We are doing currently, I would say, tenfold what we did in the first and second years in terms of volume for our EnduraCore, in large part because we've added so many different profiles. But we continue to listen to the industry and what the floor thicknesses and designs are bringing out, and it's leading us to a whole new level of finishing that you will see a snapshot of at next year's Surfaces here coming up in just a little over a month, in terms of new technologies that we currently are using but have not introduced yet to the industry, in the way of DDP, direct digital print. So that will be something on the horizon that you can look for from our EnduraCore products as well. know that we don't have any minimums. Many of our customers order one stick, you know, just vents, just a tread, or just a riser. That's a real advantage over many of our competitors. Our wood treads and risers come in all shapes and sizes and species and finishes. And when the floor is hand scraped, we hand scrape. And when the floor is wire brushed, we wire brush. Our vents really are endless. We do a lot of custom vents. So that can be a real advantage for you to seal a deal with a customer in terms of capability. Our millwork options in white primed, unfinished, really there's endless colors that we work with. We like to think that in terms of the industry going forward, it's a challenge. We know that the more manufacturers that come into the industry leave us with more questions and more potential solutions that we have to work on. With that, I will open it up for questions, and I thank you for your time today. Is there anyone there that has a question? And please let me know.
Okay, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and type those in on your Q&A tab. It's on the left side of your screen. And we can get those right to Bill. Now, I do have a question for you here, Bill. Will white primed products become available in other profile types?
Well, white primed products are available in other profile types. They become a custom order, and currently we don't get a lot of requests for other profiles other than the shoe and or wall bases. But if someone does have a need for a white prime product in a different profile, it is generally speaking something that we can do. It would require a custom quote and or a custom order on that. So yeah, don't limit yourself to thinking that it's just those. That's the lion's share of what we do offer currently online, and is what we sell. Does that help you, Liz?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Now, will you be adding other thicknesses for the engineered stair nose besides what you talked about?
Currently, we don't have plans for that. The majority of the floors that are finished in European oak, in particular, that seems to be the lion's share of the thicknesses of floor options. There are some things that can be done to. I mean, we're basically carrying from a 1/2-inch floor all the way to 3/4. We're covering that. If somebody had a 3/8-inch floor and the order was large enough, we could do a modification to that in the engineered stair nosings. It would probably add some time, and we would have to probably do a test run on it first to make sure that it's all copacetic. But I think it would be doable, and I doubt you'll find much request for anything less than a 3/8-inch floor in that particular profile. So, but currently, no, we are not.
Okay. We have a question from the audience. Do you make 2-inch wood treads?
All day. Many high rises, penthouses, high-end commercial jobs, multi-housing are requiring thicker treads. And we can do those 2-inch thick treads with a number of different shapes for the bullnosing portion. They typically are full thickness throughout. We go up to about 3¼ inch thick treads, in which case, I would I could talk for many, many minutes on design and composition of those. But a 2-inch thick is not all that uncommon in an open stairwell where you have glass or metal railings. Uh, the biggest thing that you want to be aware of is that we also will finish all 6 sides of the treads because most of those types of treads are open stairwells. And we can also have, if you're doing metal plates for the stringers on the bottom underside, we can also have those CNC portion removed to accommodate the measurements for your stringers. So yes, we do those. We do them extensively, and I will take blueprint takeoffs. So you can submit blueprints to us for larger jobs for us to do quotes on as well. Is there a follow-up question to that?
I have one.
Okay.
Is it better to do this through your online website or call you directly?
It's best to do it through the online website only because I'm not always at my phone. I'm out and about in the field as well. So, but I do spend a portion of each day working on blueprint and or specification for custom treads. So there is that opportunity. You can certainly feel free to give me a call. My direct line, and you can leave a message if I'm not there, is 651-255-6204. That will get me directly. And or, as you mentioned, Lizzie, you can send it through customer service. I do view all the customer service calls that come in to Artistic Finishes. And if it is a custom quote of extensive specifications in nature, generally they will flow to me. So one way or the other, we'll end up probably having a conversation.
Wonderful. Okay. Does anyone else have questions for Bill? Bill, do you have anything that you'd like to add about your products or how Artistic Finishes helps their customers or anything like that?
Sure. We have been experiencing, and perhaps some of the customers online or individuals online realized we work directly with a lot of manufacturers, and a lot of manufacturers are recommending Artistic Finishes for their accessories. Because of that, we have been experiencing high volume orders and sales and production requirements as of really since the beginning of October. We are adjusting to that. We are getting caught up. It's been a great transition to see our sales increase as they have. I think in part because, as we see more and more manufacturers coming in, selling products that are brand new to the industry, it's creating more and more need for a company like Artistic Finishes. We do not want to say, no, we can't do that. We do, like everybody, have some limitations to what we can produce. But we're willing to work with you. And if you get into a situation or a project where you feel you're trapped or you don't have an answer, I encourage you to call Artistic Finishes. I think that we do listen. We are accommodative. We try to do as much as we can within our limitations here with our machinery, but the opportunity is certainly there to try to take care of your customers as best as we can. And with that, I thank you all for attending today's webinar. I hope that in the future, going forward, Artistic Finishes can be a company that you will look to solve problems and take care of questions that you have in the industry. Thank you, and have a wonderful, happy holiday.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. This was an excellent webinar sponsored by Artistic Finishes. And Bill, thank you again for presenting today and sharing all of your knowledge. I believe you will be getting at least a phone call or two from this webinar. So let me know how that goes. Sims Online, you can now navigate to your Submit Credit tab to complete the feedback survey and receive credit. Now, if you're not logged in to the actual education platform, not this webinar, but the actual education platform, you may not see any credit available. So let me know if you have any issues, but if you've watched the webinar, you'll be able to get your credit. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you next week on the FCICA Healthcare webinar.